Howdy, howdy, it's that time of the year where we get nightshade rowdy. We can't wheel during the day due to reaching the highs of 120 degrees, so we turn into night crawlers during the Arizona summers. We just met up with some of our subscribers and we're looking to get lost in the shade of night.
We're back at it again!
What's up, guys? We're out here doing the first night run of the season. We got the monsoons rolling. There's lightning going everywhere. And we just picked up some of our subscribers. This should be a pretty rowdy night. Super stoked to wheel with some guys that have been following us. We can't thank you guys enough for following us and just being there. It keeps us going.
One of the most important tools you can have for night wheeling is a good set of rock lights. Rock lights are lights that are mounted underneath your chassis to shine light underneath your rig, allowing you to see the obstacles that you are on. The more you can see, the easier you'll be able to tackle obstacles at night. This is John Pillen. If you read through our comments, this name might sound very familiar. He's been a super supportive subscriber to the channel and has been working on this rig for quite a while. I believe this is only his third time out in this full tube chassis. This rig does not have rock lights on it yet, but you can really see the difference it makes having them. Without them, you literally are wheeling in the dark, and depending on your memory of what the obstacle looks like from your forward-facing lights before you are on top of the obstacle.
I just saw a frog with toes.
As I work around this massive boulder, Forrest is lining up to a wild waterfall that I'm afraid he's going to drop. Before he does, we better at least hop out and take a good look at it.
I want to drive down this, but it's so nasty.
It's pretty rough.
And who even knows how deep this is, dude?
Dude, it's so like,
Slick.
yeah.
And smooth.
If you lose any traction here, you're going down.
The
little froggy. He's so cute.
You're gonna hit rail here.
Yeah.
Right.
Are you gonna do it?
I guess I'll drive it.
Ah!
If you've watched any of our other Sand Hollow videos, this crack may not look as gnarly as some of those, but in reality, it's super gnarly. Sand Hollow rock is like 80 grit sandpaper and provides tons of traction that helps you from slipping off. Arizona rock, on the other hand, it has a lot of super slick polished river style rock, making this super sketchy, because if you're off the line by a little, it will cause you to slip off. The driver's side wall is straight up and down, and having that massive drop off makes for a lot of opportunity to mess up and get yourself jammed up.
How did that?
Was pretty steep.
I'll put it right
Yeah.
Whoa, we came out here before we even got to Terminator Trail. We got this guy, he blew a bead, so we went ahead and, I don't know what I did, so I went ahead and I used this cool like extendo rope, and then I got on top of him and we pulled him so that way it would relieve pressure. So we put the bead back on the tire and then air it up. Simple fix. It's just hilarious that we did this before we even got on the trail. Woo!
He said this one was a slow leak or something, and it probably just got down. He said it was like 5. I was like, you gotta run like 10 with no bead locks.
But look at this, we got like a whole bunch of other guys that came out on the trail that are passing us up. This is how wheeling in Arizona is. It's just so hot that at 10 o'clock at night we got like, I mean there's like 15 rigs right here because this is the only time you can wheel when it's this hot. So hopefully we get on the trail soon.
After a little detour down a wash that we haven't done before, we finally got to the trail that we had planned on running, Terminator. This trail is by far one of the most universal trails and is fun for all rigs from mildly built to wild. Speaking of wild, this is the very beginning of the trail and there's a super rowdy up and over obstacle that we played on while we waited for the trail to clear up a little bit. One of the big perks to night wheeling is you don't notice how big the obstacles are as much as you do during the day. The bad part is in video, you don't get to see how big they are. It was at this exact moment that I realized when I took my dash off earlier in the day to replace some switches that I didn't tighten the dash screws. So I took a quick moment while hanging off the waterfall to give them a quick tighten up with the old finger pliers.
He said he could see you
Got to the
tightening it.
top and I was like, I didn't tighten my dash, it's all wiggling. I was like, hey, I'm not perfect. Sometimes you forget to tighten your dash. I don't know what to tell you.
The group ahead of us has moved forward just enough for us to squeeze by and hit the famous Terminator crack. Less than a handful of rigs have ever driven up it, and not very many have driven down. This will be my first time driving down it at night. When the rigs in front of us saw that we were heading down it, they all got out to watch, as it's not often this crack gets driven, and it's one of those obstacles that any local that's passed it has scratched their head wondering if anyone's ever driven it. I passed this obstacle thinking the same thing about 100 times before ever trying it. Time to check out our subs hitting some of the hard lines. This Yoda rig is a classic rock slayer. Leafs in the front, leafs in the rears, 37s all the way around, all caged up, wrecked approved. This rig also takes the cake for the most rock lights I've ever seen underneath the rig. It's legit a party under that Yoda. John's new to him buggy, on the other hand, could really use some rock lights. I'm sure if he asked his buddy really nicely, he could probably spare a few. This is a super capable and rad rig. Once he makes some adjustments to fit his needs, this thing is going to be one hell of a rock ripper. As Jess throws away some trash that she found on the trail, we find a few guys in a bit of a bind. As off-roaders, it's super important that we help out and support others in our sport. Forrest jumps right into action and helps winch out a built Jeep out of a rock and a hard place. Then Jess checks on a Cherokee that seems to have broke their steering. They had parts and plenty of their own crew to help. The only thing that Jess could do is give her official certification of shit show.
This is a certified shit show, and I like it.
YouTube right now?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, what's up YouTube?
John let me know before we went out that his rig is still in the shakedown phase and didn't want to do anything too rowdy. If you don't know what a shakedown run is, it's when you have some major fixes, modifications, or the rig is brand new to you, which all three of these apply to his rig. You take it out on a lighter run, that way if anything happens or comes apart or breaks, it's not on a gnarly obstacle. Well, it did really freaking good the entire trail, so Forrest and I gave him a little friendly dirt bag to hit a good climb that happened to be wet, muddy, making it extra rowdy. Got rowdy, check. Made obstacle like a boss, check. Rig stayed together, passing the shakedown test, check. Tonight was such a blast wheeling with some new friends that really have supported our channel. I want to thank each and every one of you guys who take the time to watch our videos, like, subscribe, and leave comments. We wouldn't be here and wouldn't want to be here without you guys. Best way to support this channel is by giving the subscribe button a little skiddly-doo, diddle that notification bell, give this video the fat finger, and leave a dirty little comment below. As always, thanks for watching.